All right, welcome back. We're going to work on doing some customization. This is a little bit outside the textbook, so but it's going to involve our interior petitions, which we'll be doing in lab this week. And I thought what would be kind of neat to do would be to create our own custom wall type. That'll be a little fancier than what they show in the book. Uh, so to get started with that, I've pulled up my B Lab drawing for the envelope that we created last week. So if we look at our 3D default view, we see our parapet wall and our glass wall. We're going to start looking at our interior petitions now. So what I want to do is just start by creating a custom interior petition. So I'll go back to my floor plan. And what we'll do is just go up here to architecture and select wall. And the basic interior wall per the book on page 429 was a interior 4 7/8 petition, 1 hour fire rated. So we're going to go down and just find that petition, 4 7/8, 1 hour. Now, this is just a straight wall. It's got gypsum on both sides, steel studs. We're going to edit this, and we're going to actually, first of all, rather than delete anything that that's part of the original software program, we want to just duplicate this and create our own. So I'm going to hit duplicate, and I'm just going to call this one CIE 101 and say OK. And now we can come in here and edit this and not affect anything that was part of the original. So if you don't see this side view, you may see this as a plan view. You can see it's just 2 layers of sheetrock on metal studs. We're going to look at this in a section view. And let's click our edit mode. You can see that it has gypsum wall board 5/8 on one side. The interior structure is metal studs 3 5/8, and then the exterior is gypsum wallboard. And what we want to do is actually put some profiles. We could add more layers to the vertical section, but we actually want to put some profiles on this, so it'll include a base, and I want to put a wood base on here. This is a fancy hotel, so we want to see a nice wood base. We want to see a chair rail, so that it doesn't mar up the walls when they move and bang chairs around. And we're going to put a piece of cornice molding, so when it meets the ceiling, it's actually going to have some nice wood trim up there. And this will be for all the walls on the interior of the petition except for the stairwells and whatnot. So if it's going to be an outside piece, we call it a sweep. If it was interior cutout, it would be a reveal. So we're going to select our sweeps. You see there are none right now. And what you want to do is go down and load a profile. Now, as soon as you hit that, you should get your list of U.S. Imperials. They're in the C Program Data Autodesk RVT 2014 Library U.S. Imperial. And we're going to come down here to Profiles. When we click on the profiles, we're going to see finished carpentry, curtain walls, railings, roofs. And what we want is our finished carpentry. And we can see we have a number of different bases. I'm going to go with this one here looks pretty good. So I'm going to put this on my drawing and just say open. Now we're going to add a profile. So when we add, we're going to click on the profile and select our base. And I want base 2 with a 5.5 inch high, 3/4 inch base. Now the material that I want this to be is, when you click on material, you're going to get a whole list of different things, and you could put just paint, or there's oak. I want to go with this maple wood birch and say OK. My distance from the base is 0. It's on the exterior wall. And when I hit apply, what you'll notice now, we come over here, so it actually puts this base on the exterior of the wall. Now I want to do the same thing on the other side. So if I take this base and just say duplicate it and tell it to put it on the interior of the wall also and hit apply, Now we have the base on the outside and the inside. So every time we draw a wall, it's going to show this base on the wall itself in the CIE 101 wall structure. Now let's load another profile, and this one is going to be for, again, the profile will be for some finished carpentry, which we want some crown molding. And we can pick any of these, or we could create our own. Let's go with this. This one looks nice and rich right here. Maybe that one. We'll give it a challenge. And now we can load a profile. Whoops, already did that. Now we want to add this, and this is going to be the crown 3.5 by 4 3/8. Okay, and category again will be birch. We want all our trim to match up, and hit apply. Oops, and that's because it's not touching. So we want this one on our crown, whoops, to be from the top, and hit apply. And now we have to move to the top of our, let's just say okay, so we can come up here and adjust this. These walls are tall because they're unlimited. And we can see this is setting up on the top. Now we go back to our sweeps and look at our crown. It's 4 3/8 tall, 3.5 inches out. So what we want to do is set that distance on the top at negative 4 3/8 inches. So if I type in negative 4 3/8 inches, hit apply, you see that brings it down. Now all we need to do is select that and say duplicate it, and we want one on the interior and one on the exterior. So now we've got our crown molding on the top on both sides of the wall. So when we lay this out, it's going to give us a nice rich texture. Okay, that was the easy part. Now what we need to do is create a piece of chair rail. Unfortunately, our library does not include any chair rail, so we need to create one. So let's just cancel this for now. We're going to say OK and OK. So now we've got this CIE 101 wall with no chair rail on it. So what we need to do now is go create a chair rail profile. We're going to come in here to New and select Family. It's going to bring up our list of family templates, and we come down here, we can see division, profile, wall, doors. They give us something to start with. So I'm going to start with this unit right here, and it just gives us a set of crosshairs. This is the outside of our wall on this side, just because I've done this before. And we're going to create a box, so I'm just going to start right here and just create a box. Now I can set my height to, let's say, 6 inches. And I'm going to set my width to 3/4 of an inch. Okay. Hit escape. And I can select this whole thing. And I'll just move it down so it sets right on this corner. Now what I want to do is do a little fancy work on it. So we'll go back to our Create tool. Select the lines, and I want to fillet the outside edges by a radius of 1/4 inch. So we're going to select this line and fillet that edge 3/4 of an inch, top and bottom. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to draw a circle right in the center. It'll come out here 1/4 of an inch radius, so it's a 1/2 inch round. Now what I want to do is I want to split this. So I'm going to take this split tool, and I'm just going to select from this point to this point, and select that element. I think I already did this. Now what you'll notice is I can delete these segments. Actually, I did too many of them. Now I can take this and just bring it up until it touches, and grab this one, bring it down, Now we want to do the same thing on this circle. Just cuts it. Then I can hit escape twice. I want to delete it. Delete it. Now I can take this circle and just bring it back until it touches here. Bring this one back until it touches here. So what this will do is give us a reveal on it. So now what we need to do is save this profile for our chair rail. So we're going to do a Revit save as a family. And I want to put it in I'm working in lab B. And I'm going to right click and create a new folder here called profiles. Open it up. We're going to call this one chair rail. So that saves it. Now I can do a file close, and then we'll come back here to our wall, just like we were going to go to architecture wall, and we're going to edit this now. Again, we'll go to our edit option here, go to our sweeps, and I want to add a profile. And I'm going to load the profile. You can see it comes back here. What I want to do is go back to our desktop, CIE 101 lab, profiles. There's my chair rail. Hit open. And now we can drop this down, go to you should see one here now that says, oops, load profile. CA101B, profiles, open. Just thinking. Let's take this one out. Maybe I put it in too quick. No. Let me just cancel this out for a second. We can go to our view, switch windows. I guess I took it already out, so let me just open that up. Make sure it still looks right. I just said load into project. That shouldn't make any difference. Wall. And edit type. Edit. Sweeps. Load profile. I'll load it first this time, just to see if it'll work better. Chair rail. Open. Add. Shows our base and our crown. I don't want to put a piece of C channel on there. Alrighty. I know it's there. Profile. Lab. I can see it. Open. Everything's there. File, save as, family. Close it out. Go to my wall, edit type. Probably doing something stupid, but just looking to see if there's anything. RFE files, Cove. So I'm just going to go looking. I should be able to use my desktop. I created this same thing in the my A drive. Now that one shows up. So what's the difference between that one and the one I created in my B drive? Well, it should show up there. So I'm going to assume this one's the one. And we also want to say this is going to be birch. The distance from the base is going to be 3 feet. So on the exterior, if we hit apply and hit OK, then we'll see there's our piece of chair rail on that side of the wall. So now we'll put the sweep on the other side, take our chair rail and duplicate it. This one's going to be on the interior of the wall, same height, hit apply. So now we have chair rail both sides, hit OK. It looks good. Now we'll say OK, and we'll say OK here. So now we have this wall, and just go to my view, switch windows. Okay, I don't have it there anyway. So now let's say I want to take place a wall out here, and we'll just take our architecture, place wall, and it's going on our floor plan 1. It's just going up to level 2. And I'm just going to place a wall here, and I'll just come out here. I'll end up erasing this anyway. Okay, and I want to place a door in here just to see what it looks like. Put it over in this corner. And I want to place a window in here. Just a fixed window inside. I'll place a couple of them. So now if I take my camera for my 3D view, I'll place a camera inside, and I just want to take a picture into this corner so I can see my trim. I don't have a floor in here yet, so, and this is an 18-foot high ceiling, so it's a little So I'll make that 3.5. 0.5. Oh, I know. Doesn't like that. 3 foot 6 inches. How's that? Same with this one. And we'll take a look at our door. You can see it stopped the chair rail in the base at the door frame. So if we render this as a realistic view, we see now that our wood chair rail, our base, and our crown molding shows up here. So it's just one way that we can kind of customize and create our own wall types by creating any type of profile that you can cut out in wood and use it as basically an extrusion that will actually flow along with the wall and make its breaks where appropriate. I'm not sure why. This probably because this window doesn't have any trim on it. It didn't look like it cut through that. So if I take this window just as an experiment and put it at 2 foot 6, let me see if it cuts that. Probably get myself in trouble. Yeah, and see how it cut the chair rail where appropriate to put that through. So it does work automatically, just a nice way to customize it. So what I'd like you to do for our lab, to be ready for our lab this week, is make sure that you create this custom wall type with our trim values in there. And it's just a matter of adding the base, adding the crown molding, creating a chair rail profile, and placing it on the outside of the wall. So practice with that. Really not a lot about this in the book. It's kind of a customizing thing, but I wanted to make sure that you're fully, able to create custom materials and custom profiles and be able to basically optimize the use of this. If somebody asks you that you need to customize these things, it's helpful. Just to show you some things that maybe, not sure if I have one right here. This is actually an animation of a walkthrough that we did that I showed you last week, where we can do a, hopefully this comes up fairly quickly. And this just shows you how we can take the 3D model. This is actually the second floor Neville Hall, adding some cubicles in there for our IT staff. And I just kind of created this little animation to show what the cubicles would look like inside the building. So it's a fairly powerful tool to use. The other tool that we can use on this, and it's exactly the same thing that we did, was to create, and I don't have a copy of it here, but I'll show it to you in class, basically an aerial view of the office layout that people can look at in a 3D mode to see what things look like. So I'll leave you at that today. You can email me with any questions, but basically the exercise to do outside the classroom today is to create that custom wall type, and make sure you do a duplicate of it. Create a new wall type from an existing one, and then add your profiles to that so you can call it anything you want. All right, thanks.